Hey everyone! Before we start this week's episode, gotta let you know a little secret. So, you may notice throughout this podcast we say it's called the Kill Your Landlords podcast. Now that's not true, because it was called the Kill Your Landlords podcast, and then we uploaded it to YouTube, and YouTube said, no, you're not doing that. That's violent. We don't want any landlords to be killed, so we had to change it, and we changed it to the Rent Boys podcast. Hence why the channel's called the Rent Boys. It's called the Rent Boys podcast, but we will say Kill Your Landlords throughout the first few episodes because we filmed them before the name was changed. So, just letting you know, complete transparency. It's the Rent Boys podcast, which I think is much more family friendly. Enjoy.
Hello, welcome to the Kill Your Landlord podcast with me, Alex Camp, and Dom Hatton-Woods, and Eason Smith.
All the way from Beijing.
Ethan Smith. It's really hard to say your name. I don't know why. It's the easiest name ever.
Two of the most common names in the world. You just said that, in fairness.
Ethan's not the most common name in the world.
It's a unique name, isn't it? It's unique to you.
It's unique.
Anyway,
oh dear.
I feel like this is gonna be a really good one, judging by the start of it.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a really good one.
Well, it's good to be back in the living room.
Yeah,
I have spent the majority of the day here.
I was gonna say, you are constantly here. You sit here all the time with your footstool, staring at the TV.
Yeah.
One thing I figured out about you is that every time you're doing anything, pretty much, apart from you do go to uni, in fairness to you. But other than that, you're just waiting to go to a gig.
I go to the gym.
Well, there's no gig. I feel like you're waiting a lot for gigs.
Yeah, I'm waiting for gigs.
You're waiting. There's gigs and there's waiting between gigs.
Yeah, that's my life. If I write a book, it'll be called Waiting for Gigs.
Dom Hatton-Woods waiting for gigs. Dom Hatton-Gigs waiting for wood.
Who would you have do the audio book?
I'd do it.
You do it yourself?
I feel like when you read an audiobook and the actual author doesn't do it, you don't want to.
No,
read
you
it.
want someone with like pizzazz, and you've got a very monotone voice. It wouldn't sell.
Yeah, imagine all the mistakes. It'd be really slow. You're reading it off the page.
Why? Because I'm a slow reader.
I don't know. I have no idea.
I'm not that quick reader, I don't think.
I can't read.
We should do dramatic reading at some point.
Yeah?
We'll just sit there. We'll get a passage so you can read it. I mean, obviously I'll be the best, but so you can read. Let's just see what it's like.
That's interesting.
I'd be up for that.
Considering you've done that professionally.
Yeah.
Can we?
Wouldn't be fair. It's not a competition.
No. Sounds like it's because you said I'd be the best.
Competition between you two.
Yeah. You need to pick one of the penguin, because it'd be unfair if you pick like Shakespeare and stuff. I'm not going to be able to get through that.
No.
So we're going to have to
bring it
down. Some at Penguin.
Jay Goody.
Mr. Men.
What's Jay Goody?
I don't know that. I
didn't want to say that.
Jay Goody was in Big Brother.
Oh, right.
And she was... Well, I imagine so.
Was she blonde?
Did she shag Russell Brand?
I don't know, really. It's not my place to say.
Well, it's not, no.
Jay Goody was a character. She was not character. She was a real person in Big Brother 3 or 4, something like that, early on. And she got in trouble because she took the piss out of Shil Pachetti. I think that was later in Celebrity Big Brother. She came back because she'd become such a big, basically for being a horrible piece of work. She was awful, just gross and everything. And then she got cancer.
Oh no!
And she was always wearing this headband and everything. Like you're wearing she was like a crip with the bandana on. Yep. And everyone was like, "Oh my God, Jay Goody is amazing. I love Jay Goody. She's so brave." And then she brought out a biography that sold well.
About what?
Just about being a racist and having cancer.
Yeah.
Two of the main important things in our society. This is what most people are worried about. Are you racist? Are you getting cancer anytime soon? That's what we need to know.
Yep.
Exactly.
And if you are racist,
should have cancer.
Hurry up and get cancer.
Take it away from someone that's not.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. There's only so many people can have cancer. That will take it away from an Indian person.
1 in 3 people get cancer.
Why are we talking so much about cancer?
Just saying. One of us is fucked.
Because we're 3 white guys doing a podcast, and that's what you talk about.
Yep. Gritty.
Yeah. Athletic greens. Stops you getting cancer. So that's what we're getting at.
Right.
How's your how are you feeling in the house, Ethan?
Me? Good, actually. I cleaned the kitchen the other day.
God,
you
that
did
was
a good job.
And,
that was bloody good. That
I've tried to stop doing drugs as much, and
I hadn't noticed, but now you mention it,
yeah,
I've not noticed as much weed smoking.
no. So things are getting better. Things are on the up, and I'm washing my clothes and body.
Were you not doing that before?
Again? No, I think that's what depression is, isn't it? It's doing lots of drugs, not washing yourself, and messaging prostitutes on Telegram. Not buying them,
Just to specify what platform.
Just chatting to them.
yeah,
Just chatting
just
to
seeing
them.
what they're up to.
It's true. I remember at the worst of my drug nuttery, when I was in America, I'd sit with my friend in a car and he was like, we're going to get prostitutes. I was like, well, that's exciting. I've never had one. And then he'd just call them and like talk to them. And then he'd just mess about and he'd like be taking the piss and stuff. And I'm like, these are working women. You're wasting their time. Like they've got stuff to do. Do you know what I mean? They've got 6 a.m. Like what are we up to here? Sitting in the car out of our nut and you're ringing up prostitutes and trying to barter and things like that.
They've
Yeah.
got dicks to suck.
Got a haggle, yeah.
That's a bit off, mate. Come on now. They're workers, sex workers, and it is work, right?
Hard.
It's hard work.
I'd
Do you know
say it's
what I mean?
hard work.
And you know
Sometimes
what's
it's soft
hard?
work.
Sometimes it's soft work. That's true.
Very good.
Sometimes it's like, oh, yeah, okay, we get that in work. That's doable work.
Remember, I said once when I was in Romania, I called me and my 3 mates were in the hotel, and we called a prostitute to the room.
Nice.
And then by the time she arrived, we were too scared to answer the doors.
Oh.
We just let her go.
So see, there you go. That's the thing. You wasted her time. She could have gone to another
She
room.
could have got some cash.
She could have been getting cash over that time. It's like, it's like a cancelled gig, isn't it?
She's going to get back and Andrew Tate's going to kick the fuck off.
Oh, God.
Did I
that was-
mention 7 minutes in?
I'm sorry. I got a thing for yeah.
Well, I'm glad you're doing well, mate. That's good. You cut down on
We
the
can cut that out.
ganja.
Yeah.
Cut down on the ganja. How does it feel?
It's okay. I'm very irritable.
Okay.
Very, just like kind of want to. I'm angry. I feel like
You're angry?
Yeah, like in Lidl and stuff. People walking slow, and I'm like, it's getting a lot.
That's why you should go to Tesco.
But imagine, you got to think about it this way. When you were stoned, right, you were probably walking pretty slowly.
That's it. Yeah,
And I would say probably around shops looking for munch.
yeah, you're right.
There's probably someone caught behind you thinking, this stoner, get out of my way. He's choosing a muffin for 15 minutes.
That adds up. Yeah, it's karma, really, isn't it? They say what goes around comes around.
That's it.
And,
Because you were smoking it like the whole day, weren't you?
yeah, I'm kind of I'm dedicated.
That's not sustainable, is it?
Mentally, no, I don't think so. Or financially, I think that's
The main driver.
why. Yeah, it's not.
Interesting.
I
Yeah.
love you giving a weed lecture to him. It's hilarious.
Why?
Just because you're like, so I believe you've been smoking the wacky backy. Is that true?
I have my
That would
days
be
of...
not such a good idea, would it? There could be detrimental to your health.
Yeah, I mean it's great, but in moderation.
I have my days of drugs.
I had my days of drugs, kids.
Yeah.
Say it like you're
back in.
52 years old.
I am.
You're not. You're a year older than me.
You're always talking about your days of drugs.
Yeah, they're over.
Why?
I think.
So funny.
Why are they over?
Well, I just didn't... Because I get so addicted to it and it wasn't very good for me.
Okay, I can't say
I
anything.
got real sad. I got sad. Maybe we should add some levity to the
This.
conversation. Yeah.
I think that's what people want to hear.
Yeah, they want the raw, gritty truth about Dom's drug habit.
Yeah.
They want to know how deep he went into despair. I was doing MDMA twice a month.
I was doing it...
They wouldn't let me in liquid in Bath because I was too mental.
I was doing it twice...
The year was 2018.
Go on.
I'd say I was doing it twice a week.
Is what you mean? Saturday, Sunday.
Friday, Saturday.
That's really reasonable.
Yeah, but then going to work on Monday, you
Mad.
want to kill yourself.
That's
Of course,
insane.
of course, yeah. But everybody wants to kill themselves anyway on a Monday.
Especially if you were a bin man because...
I wasn't. I was working for my dad at the time, which is probably worse than being a bin man, actually. Because they drug tested bin men, you know that?
Did they?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. But they never drug...
Performance enhancing. It's not fair on the other bin men.
They
You're running around.
never tested me. But there was people that got tested.
Because you look like a narc.
And also,
you
they're
look
not
so
testing-
square. They're like, no ways.
It was just random.
They're testing people who are on drugs at work.
Yeah, but still, if you
They're
had
not
them,
testing you. They're not like, oh.
if they tested you and you had them in your system, because they're random tests, right?
Well, I think they're not that random. I think the guy who comes in with a can of Stella usually gets tested. You know, it's not everyone.
Not
The
if
thing is,
he-
though, if
And they
they
go, oh, it's
tested,
random. You know,
they tested the guy. They don't alcohol test, do they? I mean, I don't
drug
think
and
they
alcohol
test for
test.
alcohol.
and
Do they?
alcohol, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, a little bit.
Sure. I mean, it's the thing with alcohol is it's like, what are you testing for alcohol? Because that person could have been drinking up until the night before, till 3 a.m, and there's nothing wrong with them necessarily coming in the next day. But you can't well, you've had alcohol, and it's like, well, yeah, of course.
Well, if they're driving the truck, that's not really
Yeah.
okay. Because if they're up till 3,
Well, they don't breathalyze people at work, do they? Yeah, obviously, if you're driving, it makes sense, but
yeah,
I don't know. Anyway,
doesn't matter.
I've never had a random drug test in my life, as far as I know.
I found a bag of cocaine in the van at work.
Did you?
Yeah, and I was managing the team, and I had to.
You were managing a team.
So I was managing the team.
Why are you saying that?
Yeah, I'm a
manage
very
a team.
competent man. And I said to him, you know, what's going on with these drugs? And he said, oh, I thought you'd give me the benefit of the doubt.
In terms of what?
And I was like, that's not how it works. You can't. It's like,
Who knows? Really, you could have done.
I could have just gone, oh, maybe this is talcum powder.
Hold on, is that all? Is that the whole of the conversation? You went, how about these drugs then? And he was like,
No.
I thought you'd give me the benefit of the doubt.
No,
like,
it was
well,
very aggressive. He was trying to fight me.
I'm surprised you didn't just ask for some.
Yeah, well, I would, you know, I was running the team.
yeah. Imagine if Ethan's running the team. He's like, yeah, well, it was really hard. We only had half a gram of coke. And we had to divvy it out between 8 lads.
Share it round.
It's pretty tough. We had to employ a lot of keys. A lot of keys were brought out, and well, we did manage to separate the drugs between the lads, and everyone did get a little bit high. So it was a good result. Hopefully, next time we'll have more drugs, and we'll be able to really send the boys into
the
overdrive.
point where I was up the tree.
This was being a tree surgeon.
I was climbing trees, and there was
Like
a really
Tarzan.
big piece of log, right? And it's going to get technical now.
Here we go.
Keep up.
Bit of jargon.
But there's so you drop it from a rope, and it's like a negative fell.
And what is a rope?
So
Negative fell.
It's
That's
like-
a nice
yeah,
little bit of
it's,
terminology.
yeah, you fell in it, but it's negative because it's below the anchor point.
Ooh.
And negative rigging, it's called, not that. I got it wrong. So anyway,
Here
and the
we
guy
go.
goes, just do it. I'll hold it. Right, and this was probably like half a ton of log. And at that point, I realised, oh, everybody's on cocaine.
Everyone sniffed off their
Yeah,
bat.
and he's like, I'll do it all. I'll grab it
Yeah.
all. I'll be it all.
Sounds like you were working with
trees.
Jesus.
Yeah, that same guy said, he said to me, I am the sexiest crackhead you will ever meet. And
Was he?
Yeah, he was really
Good looking
He
guy.
was in good shape. He was in
Doesn't
good
believe
shape.
in himself, does
Yeah.
he, really?
No.
You know, you could be the sexiest like man out of a group of non-crackheads if you wanted to be.
He did go to prison for domestic abuse, though.
Oh.
Okay.
Um,
You mix him with some shady characters there.
he's actually he was a nice guy.
Of course he was.
Down to
Yeah.
earth.
He's the nicest crackhead in the domestic abuse part of the prison.
He was.
Yeah.
He was.
Wasn't even a nonce.
No, he wasn't.
Really?
Well, he might have been, but
I do wonder whether
I hope he doesn't see this.
a nonce counts as just child abuse or if it's any
No, it's-
sexual criminal.
So nonce is an acronym.
Oh, yeah.
Not of normal convicted
Oh, for fuck's sake.
That was probably the best bit of information we've ever had
Was
on
that
this
the water?
podcast.
No, it wasn't the water.
Oh,
It
right.
wasn't
It's
the water.
dropped.
I thought it
I
was
was
the
so
water.
excited. I was like, we're about to learn something here. And then bong. Sorry, nonce is an acronym.
Yeah,
what does it
not
stand
of
for?
normal convicted summit. So I know the first
so
three
close.
letters. Not of normal conviction.
conviction.
Oh wait, no. It's about not of. It's to do with they're not allowed on the yard at the same time as the other prisoners.
Oh, okay.
So it's not of normal. I'm gonna Google it.
Not of normal
Do you want to Google it?
cock edging.
It isn't. I don't think it's an acronym.
I'm
No older.
children.
No older
No, it's not an
non-children.
No
Exceptional.
exceptions.
No older non-children exceptionless.
That's a word.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
God, you didn't find out what it was.
It's not an acronym.
Is it not?
I'm not lying.
I reckon it is.
Is nonce an acronym?
You looked like nonce word. It says at the thing. Nonce word.
One of my favourite words, actually, nonce.
I had never heard that word more than maybe 10 times.
Not on normal communal exercise.
There you go.
Okay.
So yeah,
right.
they're not allowed out on the yard at the same time as everybody else.
Okay, because they're going to get decked
Yeah, they
in.
get stabbed. Yeah, which I mean seems reasonable.
Yeah, but that's because it's kids. No, they're not rapists.
No, rapists do fall under nonce. Yeah.
They do.
Yeah.
Right. So any
Do they?
sex crime.
Wow.
Yeah, they all get put
Person.
in the same. I think it's called a wing.
Got a true crime expert over here.
Yeah, I've got a weird uncle.
I've got a weird uncle, so I know a few things. NONCE.
Right, should we crack on?
Yeah, we not cracked on.
I thought,
I'm the sexiest crack on head here.
and we do the house stuff.
Okay. Yeah, sure. What do you want to talk about now?
You're the host, mate.
Do you want to do the complaints or misgivings?
Why don't we talk about my fights this week?
Okay, let's talk about your fight. I want to hear about that. You're right.
I did
we've
tell
asked
you,
Ethan.
didn't I?
It's been a lot.
You've had a lot of run-ins with gentlemen in the public.
Well,
out there.
Thursday
Working class
we
men.
went to do the gig in Liverpool.
Yeah,
Terrible,
It was a great gig. I enjoyed it.
terrible gig. And
not Bradford, as you said you were.
No,
going
not
to.
Bradford. I thought it was Bradford. I did say that as well. And
I wouldn't have agreed to
anyway,
it otherwise.
so hosts on stage, the guys are talking at the back. No one really says anything. Then Eddie Midgley, another comic, goes on, and they're just talking the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
And I went over to them, and I said to the guy running the gig, mate, can you go and tell those guys? And he didn't. So I went over to him and I said, lads, this is a comedy show. You either need to listen to the show and stop talking, or just leave. And then
Daddy's
you can-
here.
And then you can
Yes.
talk. And he was like, mate, what the fuck are you saying to me? I'm gonna fucking batter you.
Yep.
And I was like, yeah, that's fair enough, because I didn't really know how that was gonna go.
That's fair enough. It's fair enough, yeah. I mean, I would batter me as well.
They'd be like, I don't-
No, you don't say fair enough. Like, you're there to
No,
make
because-
sure the show
Well,
runs
double
right.
down.
I'm not there to make sure the show runs right. I'm just doing a spot. It's not my
So
responsibility.
I watched all this happen, and I could see it happening way before it happened. The guy was in like work pants. He had like like electrician's pants on.
So he was a working classman.
Yeah, there was
So
like
there was
2
trouble.
empty pints there already. It
Trouble.
had been loud. He had a mate with him.
Two mates.
He had 2 mates with him, and then so I watched Dom go over, and I had a little grin because I knew what was
Yeah.
coming. And then I watched you come back. Your head down.
I think the important lesson to learn here is never trust a man who works in the trades.
That's it.
But my dad works in the trade. He probably shouldn't trust.
What better proof could we need than your dad works in the trades?
But
I just want to say for the record, I am 100% serious and not joking it one bit. No, of course. We love the tradesmen. They're all great. None of them are evil cunts.
They
So-
are. But yeah, that didn't go very well. So that happened, and then
So
I had
you
to
had
go.
one and then you thought,
to go right on
that's
stage."
enough. I'm not having any more of these for the rest of the week. Right?
No, because the next night I wouldn't have said that was my fault. So I went to watch Mark Norman, didn't I, at the Manchester?
Why are you looking at the camera as
Because
if he's
we've
there?
got. He is.
He's not watching.
Hey, Mark.
This is probably the only podcast he wouldn't go on.
Comedy.
Yeah, I think you're right about that.
Cut that.
So I went to the show, but you guys are meant to come, but you both had better things to do, and so I went to the show by myself, and a guy sat next to me, being annoying the whole show, shouting out, just being a really annoying audience member. But you can't really criticize him for that. He doesn't know, maybe not know me. He's just a bit of a dick. Anyway, and every time he laughs, he hips me on the shoulder as if we're mates. Go, so after like 6 times, I said, mate, you need to stop. Can you please stop touching me? It's making me uncomfortable. And he was like, what? You're a fucking freak. You know that? And he kept calling me a freak. And then like 5 minutes later, taps me on the shoulder and goes, mate, you know you're gay, don't you? And then there was a guy behind him, grabbed his shoulder, was like, why are you being such a dick to him? And then he tried to fight me when I left, and
That's
the
so
other guy
great.
defended me.
I loved that the other guy was like, hey, leave him alone.
Yeah. So that was my 2 this week. And then we did the gig in...
Hold on, wait a second. Just want to examine that one.
Sure.
Obviously, this guy is a shut-in and has no friends.
Yeah.
Goes to watches Mark Norman on podcasts, goes, he probably thinks these guys are his friends. Podcast, it's easily done. I got podcasts I listen to where I think, oh, those guys are my mates, and I realize they're not. This guy probably, this is the thing with these big comics who go on the podcasts now. People forget they just want the podcasting. They want that. They feel like they're about to see their idol in person. They're going to shout to them. They don't want to. They're not there to watch a comedy show. But to be fair to him, he's right. You are gay, and like.
What I found interesting,
you don't know it yet, but
he called me gay. But I was asking him to stop touching me.
Yeah, would a gay guy do that? No. Yes.
I think the thing is,
because they don't like being touched.
Is you could have had a great friendship
like anyone else.
There. He obviously seemed really,
do you know what I did?
And friendly, and he opened up to you, and you shut him right down. And I think that's where the aggression came from.
Oh, and he also went to.
That's why he was hurt.
At the end, he tapped me on the shoulder and went in close like this, and I went, "Can you fuck off?" But he said I was going to apologise, and I was like, "Well, I don't really want you to. You can't apologise after calling me a gay." He didn't say gay. He said the F word, but not.
Well, that's just out of order, isn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I hate that word.
He said it multiple times as well.
Don't like it. I love gay though. It's a great word.
That happened. But do you know what I did regret is that the guy that saved me, we walked out together, and I was like, "Oh, thanks, man." I shook his hand, but I should have been like,
here's £100.
Get a pint.
Yeah.
Even though I don't drink.
Trying to get a pint of Coke.
Of Coke, yeah.
I think you left it in the right place.
Yeah. Okay. And also calling him the guy who saved you.
There's nothing wrong. What? It's okay.
What did you say?
Be saved.
Because that diffused it. Because the guy was like, "I'm not going to start a fight because there's two of us." But
maybe you should write him a letter.
I could have taken him.
I think. Tell us about the other one. Tell us about the other.
The other guy.
Yeah,
pretty normal looking guy. And I thought because there was a girl next.
No, the next thing, because there was another one after that, wasn't there? The next night.
No,
there's just two.
Okay, I'll tell you about the one on Saturday. So we went to this gig. Which was, I mean, there's depth to this gig thing. Well, I'll tell it one day, but we don't have time to tell the whole thing. We're sitting there, me, Dom, and this other comic who's an older guy, big dude, who's quite heavy. Mm-hmm. By that, I mean fat.
Yeah.
So we were sitting there, and Dom's kind of ready to go on. So he's like kind of, shuffling around a bit, moving. This guy comes up to me and the other comic, and he's like, "Oh, what's that?"
It's a very good impression.
I'm Alex. He's like, "Dan Jackson." I was like, his name is Dan Jackson. I'm not hiding his name. I don't fucking know this guy. Random Cumbrian nutcase, right? Off his nut. He's like, "Oh, Jackson." He shakes my hand and he's just like trying to talk to us. Says to the other guy, he's like, "Oh, shit." He's like, "You're a Sunderland fan." He's like, about to have a go in for being a Sunderland fan, right? This is some Northeast stuff. He's kind of jokey with that guy. With me, he's all good. And then Dom comes along, and he's like, "Oh, I'm also that." And Dom's like, "I'm Dom." Like, he just doesn't.
No, I ignored him to start with.
You did ignore him. That's right, because you were trying to get information from us and find out what was going on, as you rightfully should do. And you had no need to interact with this idiot.
And you're at work.
But he immediately hated you.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
And he's like, "Who's this?" Did
he say that? Is he's better than me?
The Balmy. And you're just like kind of in and out of it. And he's like, I thought he was going to go nuts at you, but I managed to just look at him, and he was like, "What's that?"
Well, no, because
Dan Jackson, man, yours.
Because I was turned away, and then I heard you say he's about to go on stage, so I guess he was trying to interact. And I did shake his hand, and I said, I just walked on stage. But the only reason I shook his hand was because I was about to go on stage.
Well, he got kicked out in the end. Like he was an idiot. Yeah, and all these people seem to have been idiots. It's not your fault. But why do you think this happened? So is it just
maybe because we're similar age?
Or these three in a row, is this just coincidence, or is this something that you've learned from these?
No, I haven't learned anything. I've learned that people are awful.
Yeah.
Alcohol's awful, perhaps.
What are you going to say, Ethan? Go for it, mate.
I think it's your fault.
But I didn't.
That it's happening.
I tried.
Honestly, I do, because also they're drunk.
But I tried
They've got no excuses for how they are. Sorry, they have excuses.
No, alcohol's not an excuse for bad behaviour.
I think it is.
No, it's not. What do you?
We're into the depths of the weeds here today.
Alcohol is not an excuse for bad behaviour.
Well, if you got really drunk and left all your pots on the side, I think that'd be.
Yeah, that's different to being aggressive towards somebody.
Yeah, of course not. But then also you're kind of in. How like cars have to give way to bikes and bikes have to give way to
Yeah.
It's a bit like that with your level of intoxication. So you've kind of got to give way to the drunk guy because, like, you're not making a point. You're not going to change his life. Maybe just let him be drunk. And
No,
like,
but the guy hitting me on the shoulder, that's not okay.
That one,
He's getting in my personal
space.
space.
I think that one's an overreach.
And the guy at the show was a twat.
Yeah, you didn't really do anything. I think it's, I get frustrated with drunk people. But you know what, right? Here's something that I'll say. Is it, it's unfortunate because you're a big guy, you're tall, you go to the gym, you're strong physically. But you got no gravitas. That's the thing.
Why just have no interest in getting in a fight? Because fights are
but
going to end.
you need, if you have gravitas, people don't want to fight you.
And also, I think they can feel that. I think they can feel that, like, you're not actually up for the fight. So then they can say stuff because you're not going to hit. Like, if you come at them with the full intention of murdering them, they're going to feel that.
It's authority.
It's going to radiate off.
But
I shush people at gigs and they're like, "You're right."
Yeah.
I'm not scary. I look like a.
Do you know what it is that
be fair,
a little minstrel? Do you know what I mean?
Shushing
I'm
people-
looking up at you and
shushing people on stage to shushing them off stage is a different.
Oh, I'm
entity.
shushing people off stage.
he's leaning over the
non-stop.
top while they
Yeah.
sit down.
Shut up!
Which I think would be petrifying.
I really enjoy. I shushed this girl at a hip hop gig I was at. I was doing sound at a hip hop gig at the Dulcimer. And this girl, and I've seen her multiple times since, chatted to her and been like, "Do you remember when I shushed you?" She's this hilarious, serious creature sometimes. I love shushing people. This girl was at this gig, this hip hop gig. They're playing music through the speakers. There's a band performing, but they're back in the Dulcimer and upstairs where the bar is. So they're talking really loudly. All that kind of stuff. Proper Mank style. Can barely understand what she's saying. I just looked over and I waited. I timed it. I was like, "Hey, shh!" And like, she looked at me like this, like, because she knew. She knew she was in the wrong.
Yeah.
She knew it was the right time to be shushed, and she knew she didn't want to get into any of this business. And I was there standing by the thing. I had my little bit of authority by the desk, so she could tell. I mean, otherwise, she'd have pressed me. I would have been like, I don't know.
Yeah. And then also that was a strong shush.
Yeah, well, that's it. You got to shush him.
Because there's
You got to shush him hard.
yeah, you don't want to.
Yeah, that's a shush.
That's too much. That's an invitation.
That's an invitation to escalate.
Yeah, maybe shush if you want to, but I'm not. I'm just here.
Or maybe it's because I didn't shush. I went over and said, "You need to stop talking." It's different.
There's a different approach to every situation. I don't think you did anything wrong. It looks like you ran into some problems, but I think in a couple of years, once you get some gravitas behind you,
And those
still won't be
guys, I
an
was
issue.
tempted to go up to those guys at the restaurant in Cumbria. They were fucking annoying, weren't they?
They were really annoying.
Yeah. Well, so I had an example of having to deal with a man who'd done too much cocaine and had come into Creatures and
At
was,
work.
yeah, at work.
Carry on. Come into Creatures, coked up.
And he was like trying to fight everyone on the bar. He was like, "I'll fucking have you. I'll have you. Is this your boy?" He kept saying to everybody about other people. Is that your boy? And it was getting a bit heated. No one knew what to do. The police had been called. They hadn't come. So I was like, fuck it, I'm going to have to do something. I thought, worst comes to worst, I'll choke him unconscious. Because that's a nice way of assaulting somebody. And I asked the man behind the bar, I said, if I choke him unconscious, are you going to be upset with me? And he said, no, we'll all choke him unconscious if you want. So he came, I had some backup. And then I looked deep into the man's eyes just as I was going to strangle him. And I saw sadness, deep sadness. And at that point, I realised there's only one way to talk to a man who's done too much cocaine. You've got to get on their level, right? You've got to act as if you've done too much cocaine.
Oh, I thought you were going to just do
So
a load
you
of
went and
gear.
did too much cocaine.
So I went,
Yes.
3 lines. And I just went, yeah, mate, what's going on? You all right? Yeah, I'll give him a cuddle.
Yeah.
I said, what's going on? I said, this place is shit anyway. Let's get out of here. I said, it's you and me, against the world. We've got this. And he was like, oh, thanks, mate. It's us in it. Is this your boy? Yeah, he's great.
Still saying it.
Yeah, he's still saying it. So I ushered him outside. And he's outside and he's like, right, we'll go get a gram and that and blah, 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 blah. And then there's 2 doors. And so we're talking and Evan pokes his head out of the door and kind of ushers me in. So this guy's still talking and I waited and I said, what's that over there? And as he turned around, I ran off.
Oh, the classic.
Yeah.
I was worried for a minute there that this story was going to end up with you with this guy for like 2 days
No,
because you're too nice to actually leave him. And he's like, you finally had to just wait till he just passed out and died.
Yeah, just keep feeding him drugs. Take more, mate.
Maybe you are smarter than...
I think I've got street smarts. That's what it is.
I think that is actually a genuinely good point in terms of like, if you want to get a guy like that out of the situation, get in that cokey mindset. So, before we get on to our letter from one of our fans, any issues in the house?
I did have one actually, you know that. But I can't remember exactly what I should start writing them down.
I've got one.
Oh dear.
I'm going to put it out there. It's not you.
Oh.
Congratulations. Actually, well, I'll even it out.
We
But
had
I've
a go at
already
me
talked to you
yesterday.
about it. I don't know what you're doing in that shower, but you're getting the whole room so wet.
I'm taking your mum in there.
And yesterday I came in and said that, and I was ready to like. I didn't want to give it. I don't want to make you feel bad, but I thought I would have to explain my situation. But you were just like, okay.
Yeah, just
like you'd known the whole time, and you were like, I want to wet this bathroom so much, and then one day I'm going to get caught and I'll have to stop, but until then I'm wetting it, and
Really
then you were like, the journey's over.
What, did my reaction surprise you?
And then you were like, okay mate, I get it. I'm like, oh, I thought I was going to have to explain. Like, I just figured it was an accidental wetting that you were doing.
It was.
Okay.
But
that's good. It was still wet today, but then I had a shower after I told you that, and I was like, oh, I got the place a bit wet. Now I feel a bit bad. Ethan.
Yeah.
I know you like to whistle.
I like to whistle.
You don't know it yet,
sometimes, hang on,
but you might notice.
Sometimes you'll just hear, we're all in our rooms and you'll just hear,
Wait, why are we interrupting my one?
I don't know, because sometimes you just hear a really big laugh. It's, what are you doing, you freak?
What do you mean?
He's got the Joker in his room.
Okay. I don't know what that is.
Do you not hear him just laugh randomly sometimes?
Well, Ethan?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Just
I thought you were talking about me. I was
No,
like, what are you talking
Ethan.
about? Yeah, but he's laughing at something. I don't know. He's got a big laugh. He's
I
got
saw
a
a
big
guy and he
laugh.
pooed himself on a podcast. That's what I was laughing at. Anyway, so the whistling.
Yeah, so it's only happened twice.
Okay.
The first time was like 2 a.m. and you were pissed, and I was in bed and I woke up and I'm like, why is he whistling? Because like banging, like cooking at night is fine. We all do it. But you came in and you were like, you were. I was like, oh my God, that's so unnecessary. And you did it again. And I was like, oh, I think he does it. Like, I don't know what mood it is that you whistle in. I imagine it's drunk. When you came back the other night, you whistled for sure, and you kept, because Dom I think wasn't around the first time you did it, or he was already in bed or something because it was late. This time, I think you guys maybe came in with Cal or Dom or someone, and you whistled again. And I was like, oh, he's whistling again. Wasn't a one-off thing.
I didn't even. Wow, I didn't even know that about myself.
You whistled, bro.
Jesus.
Whistled a little jaunty little tune that I guess the lyrics.
Was it in key?
If there were lyrics to the song, it would probably go, I'm home and I'm going to wake you up now, Alex. I'm going to wake you up.
I'm so sorry. I apologize. It must have been, it's subconscious whistling, I think. It must be some kind of, I don't like silence, and maybe I'm filling it in and not quite twigging it. I do work outside, so, whistling is like a big, everyone.
Whistling outside is the best place to do it.
You through, you dig in the field,
you're
pulling up potatoes, you got to have a little whistle, but I didn't realise I was bringing work home.
You brought whistling home, for sure. Yeah, I thought I was in a mine. I thought there were dwarves coming back.
No, I can see how that could be a problem. And
It cuts through whistling.
It does.
Because it's a tune. And as a musician, I'm like, what's this? A funky jam? Oh, no, it's just Ethan whistling.
Break up, yeah. It's not jazz.
So that's mine. Anyone?
Well, I can work on that.
You know what? I don't think I've got any. What?
Go on.
You should throw it on me.
Well, the first few weeks you were here, there was obviously a lot of things we said, but you've really
Turned things around, haven't you?
Turned a page, yeah.
Yeah.
Because to be fair to you, you do listen
Thank you.
and you do implement what we And I think the not smoking weeds probably helps. Because you even complained to me about the cleanliness the other day. I was thinking, fucking hell.
Well, I was just, so my grievance was just that the tea towels smell like sick.
They do, and I would blame that on Dom.
Yeah.
What are you doing with those tea towels? Do you know we're using them
Being
to...
sick on them.
You're being sick on them?
Yeah.
Are you like wiping the sides with them or something?
Yeah.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
We have cloths.
Yeah, well, I know that now.
But so I put them in the washing machine, but they still smell like sick.
Maybe we
And
need to buy some more.
I was at the point where I was like, maybe we just start fresh.
Well, we have loads of tea towels, to be fair. For a house that lacks any art on the walls or, many, decent chairs that work or whatever, we've got tea towels coming out of our ass. I will have a look at the baking soda and vinegar and see if I can get those tea towels a little bit back to what they used to be.
Bring some shine.
Nice, whose keyboard? Is that your keyboard?
It's Ethan's.
It's my keyboard, but there's no lead for it. So at the moment, it's an ornament.
Chair. I don't think
We'll find a power supply for it. The reason I put it there is because I wanted to get on the old.
we can make a
keyboard.
jingle.
Yeah, I think that could be.
I'll handle the jingle right now.
Could have a set.
What did you say?
I'll handle it, mate.
Yeah. I did think that.
I had some ideas.
So I don't think I've got any more issues.
How did you feel about the car and the drive?
Oh,
Well,
that
do you know
was
what
weird.
it was?
You were quite upset.
Yeah, I was.
I wasn't.
And then he
I
sent
was-
me, yeah.
I was really annoyed when I got
Thanks,
there
thanks. It's reasonable.
because I was
Did
really.
you send a message?
Well, I sent a message saying because he said he'd move the car at a certain time.
Yeah.
But then, thing is, what was difficult was that he then told I said that, and then I walked in. And was like,
I don't think we should be mentioning her
Yeah,
on
sorry
the
about
podcast.
that.
We haven't asked her any permission.
well, we'll
She'll be
bleep,
alright with it.
we'll
She's
bleep her name out.
pretty loose.
But then she obviously would have thought I was a complete dick.
No.
But then I came down to.
It's quicker that she finds out now.
No. But then I came down and spoke to her, so I think
She knows you're a
You got
complete
some
dick now.
rapport.
Yeah, I tried to make an effort because I definitely don't want her to feel uncomfortable here if she's going to come here. I think
Well, that's
very-
nice.
very
Thanks.
sad.
Thanks for
if-
that.
I think the main problem is it doesn't fit in the driveway.
It
That's
doesn't
the
fit
issue.
at
It's an
all.
Audi
No, she
A8
was
or
such a nice
something.
I
car.
know.
I
She's
saw her around. I thought, are you sleeping with someone from Wall Street or something? What's going on?
she's doing well. She's she bought some
Michael Douglas
pallets the other day. She's selling them.
selling pallets.
Selling pallets.
We're in the wrong business.
Of reused Amazon.
I did that once. I would.
Stop.
There was a Argos in Somerset, and I would take them from the Argos and sell them on Facebook for £3 a pop. And then the Argos said, "Can you stop taking our pallets and putting them on our Facebook Marketplace?" I said, "Yeah."
You got rumbled.
But I did ask them if I could take them, but they didn't want me.
They're not just.
No, they're pallets
they've
of
got
stuff.
Things on them. Yeah.
No.
It's drop shipping.
I just
Yeah.
meant normal pallets.
Yeah. No. Well, it's just it's stuff that they send back to Amazon.
I was just selling
People
normal
buy
pallets.
them and then they sell the pallets and yeah,
Cool.
business.
So we got another letter from one of our dedicated followers who watch the podcast constantly, all the time.
Handwritten in a notebook.
This is completely separate from Dom Hatton Woods' Patreon.
Yep.
Okay. And I say Patreon singular.
Exactly. Actually, I had 3, but 2 of them cancelled.
Wow.
So now we're back down to 1.
Good. I think it's better that way.
Yeah, I do as well.
If you could pick up the house and plonk it down anywhere in the world, where would that be? And what's the first activity you do with the boys? Love the show.
Thanks,
Thank you.
anonymous listener. Do you want to start, or shall I start?
I think you should start.
I would love to. If I could choose to live anywhere, I'd probably be Australia.
Yeah, but you got to take this house and put it there.
It'd be warm. This I feel like they have thinner walls over there. Brick.
You got a fan?
Brick. Brick. Excuse me.
You've got a fan?
Brick heats up though, doesn't it?
We've got a fan. Do you know, I think wouldn't be very happy about that, the landlord, considering we can't screw stuff into the wall.
Yeah, but we're not thinking about
It
that.
is a
That's a good
hypothetical
point.
question.
See, I might be Australia. I don't know where.
Australia is a
I
big
don't know.
fucking
Oh, for
place. So
fuck's
you could be a
sake.
bit more specific.
Brisbane.
Could be Sydney, Melbourne,
Sydney.
Brisbane, Perth, the
Sydney.
middle of bloody Uluru.
Sydney.
Sydney.
Is that
Have you
right
been
with
to
you?
Sydney?
No, but
Oh,
I
you're
just chose
brave,
one
aren't
that
you?
you said.
Just moving the house there
Yeah.
without even trying it.
Just going on Google Images. I'm guessing.
You haven't been that many places. Would the rent be the same?
Ethan,
I would move it still in Charlton, but on a different street.
Why is the street too busy for you?
It's too much, I think.
It is a lot,
There's
yeah.
no parking spaces. No one can pull out the drives. The other day, some lady was pulling out of a drive, and obviously it's quite a trafficked road. She was reversing out, and then I was stood there, and she was like mouthing like, And then she just pulled out in front of somebody. And that could have been a whole family of 4 that died because of me, really. I think I would have been the...
Killed them just pulling out the drive.
No, I feel like she would have been...
Would have been a mild bruise
like
of anything.
side-on collision. That's
a lot of families.
a 30-mile road.
People speed on that road. And I don't
speed
like
on
it.
that road, yeah.
I don't like it much at all. I'm not going to lie to you. I find it to be of great consternation to my mind.
You should be one of those people that just go, slow down. Just to get that lot as a bin. Yeah.
I would move it closer to... In fact, I'd put it on that car park of the Unicorn. Because vegans shouldn't be driving cars.
Brilliant. Of all the places in the
road, wouldn't it?
It has its own car park.
I love how Dom's like, let's go Australia, don't know where, just anywhere in Australia. Ethan's like, very specific.
200 yards.
Over there. I can see where he wants to put it. I love it.
Put it in the centre of Manchester.
No.
No, you don't want to be in the centre of Manchester.
Too much.
I keep, there's all kinds of places we could put it. Berlin keeps coming to mind.
Going there soon.
And you know what I do? I would take you two out for a nice currywurst and chips. My treat.
I love a sausage.
Simple as that. I'd take you out for a nice little stand-up currywurst, you know?
Yep.
And there we go.
Do you want to take us for a meal here?
No.
Okay.
No, you've tried all the food here.
Yeah, that's
it.
true.
You're over. Well, there we are.
That was it.
That's the end of the Kill Your Landlord podcast. Dom said it's good, so you know it must be fantastic.
Exactly.
Thank you very much for watching, and
see you next time.
make sure your landlord is nice to you.
Don't wear shoes in the house.
Subscribe. Do all that business.